Hi, this is Blaine Clooten for Ask a Lawyer. And the question today, which is a great one, is how much is my car accident settlement worth? Now, to get to this answer, the first thing we're going to have to do is understand some different components of what makes a settlement valuable. Now, the first thing to look at is where the collision, or sometimes referred to as the accident, collision, interchangeable, where that actually occurred. So if it occurred in Multnomah County versus Malheur County in Oregon, we understand that the jury is going to typically award more damages in Multnomah County than Malheur County. So when it comes time to look at a settlement, that figure is oftentimes going to be higher if your filing location is Multnomah County. So that's one thing to consider. A very, very important thing to consider is what is the nature and extent of the injuries. So if we have a car accident with whiplash, somebody sit from behind, or they have some soft tissue injuries, the value in that case is almost certainly going to be lower than somebody that has a permanent disability, impairment, significant injuries from a high impact collision. Those values are just going to be different. I know that it probably seems to go without saying, well, obviously if the injuries are more significant, that's going to make my settlement higher, but it doesn't always. So let's just put it out there that is going to have a significant impact on the settlement in your case. The next thing is whether or not the person died or if they were just injured in the collision. Now, obviously, you're probably not watching this from beyond the grave, but there is the wrongful death cap on cases involving where a person was killed during a collision. So that's going to have an impact on the value of the case. Another thing that we're going to look at is, and this goes along with what are the nature and extent of the injuries, is what was the length of the treatment. Now, at a very fundamental level, there's two types of recovery that we're seeking for car accident settlements. The first is what we call economic damages, and the second is going to be non-economic damages. And I've talked about this before, but let me just talk about it briefly. So economic damages are going to be the costs that are out of pocket. So if you have out-of-pocket medical costs, if you've missed work time, if you had repairs to the vehicle, these types of out-of-pocket costs, you're going to recover for those. So the economic damages. The non-economic damages are a little bit different. It's going to be your pain and suffering that's associated with the case. So how are we going to determine those two things? The economic is going to be a calculation, whereas how do we figure out what the damages are for pain and suffering? And this is where it becomes a little bit more art than science, and you may hear attorneys refer to using a multiplier on the economic damages. So they might say, somewhere between 1.5 and 5 times the value of your economic damages. So your economic damages were $1,000, multiply that by 5, you have $5,000 in pain and suffering. The thing is that I've never really found that to be a useful way to determine what those damages should be. And I think the better way to do it is to look at it on a case-by-case basis. So aside from that, there are some things that are going to be outside of the attorney's control and how we're going to determine what the value of the damages are going to be. So important things for the jury, which end up being important for settlement, are what's the credibility and likability of the client, and obviously that's going to have a positive impact on the case. That's something that's entirely out of the attorney's control. We can ask questions and we can kind of teach a person through deposition training and give them videos on what's going to happen during a deposition. We can't coach the person on how to answer the questions, but we can kind of let them know what to expect. But how they answer and their level of likability is something that's completely outside of the attorney's control. The other thing that's outside of the attorney's control is the extent of the injuries and what actually needs to be done for treatment. Person just needs to treat until the course of treatment is complete, and that's outside of the attorney's control. So while there's some things that we can help the person prepare for, and we can there are things within the attorney's control, there's certain things that are outside of the attorney's control. So when it comes to saying X case is worth X dollars, it doesn't really work that way. And again, this is why it's so important to go and talk to an attorney to understand. Now, most attorneys offer either low cost or no cost consultations, especially for personal injury type cases. And if you bring in all of your medical history, sit down and talk to them, they're going to be able to start to give you an idea of what they think the case is worth. Now, it may take some time to go through and get a firm number on that. But ultimately, when we file our complaint in a case, we have to put a dollar value on it. Now, oftentimes attorneys are going to shoot for the stars in their complaint, and it may not be the actual number that they think the case is valued at, but it will start to give you an idea of how they think the case is to be valued. So if you have more questions, I would encourage you to talk to an attorney, especially if you're trying to figure out case valuation, but I would not encourage you to try and go it alone and figure out through a series of videos or reading online that you now have a good understanding of what your case's value is and you can go and try and settle now with the insurance company. You should rely on an attorney for that. This is Blaine Clooten for Ask a Lawyer. Thank you.